So, what if a villain could actually wipe out half the universe in just one single snap of their fingers? And what if the combined might of literally every hero we know still couldn't stop him? Today, we're diving deep into the cinematic earthquake that was Infinity War. Welcome to our explainer on Infinity War, the Mad Titans Triumph Breakdown. We're going to be looking at an impossible war, one that's fought on multiple fronts, where the stakes, well, they genuinely couldn't be any higher. Let's see exactly how this nightmare begins. Okay, right out of the gate, the story throws us onto an Asgardian ship that is just an absolute ruin. Thanos is already wielding the Power Stone, and now he's come for the Space Stone, held by Loki. The Hulk jumps in for a brutal, desperate defense, but Thanos completely dismantles him with terrifying ease. And the crazy part? He doesn't even need to use the Power Stone to win that fight. His baseline strength is more than enough. In a desperate final act, Heimdall sends Hulk to Earth, basically sounding a massive cosmic alarm. The tone is set instantly here, you guys. Thanos is an inevitable force. So moving on to the Earth defense. With the Hulk literally crashing into Earth, Doctor Strange, Wong, and Tony Stark are instantly alerted to the impending doom. And Thanos' forces, they waste absolutely no time, launching an attack right in the middle of New York to claim the Time Stone. Spider-Man jumps into the fray, but Stark quickly realizes that playing defense on Earth is a losing game. Their counter-strategy is incredibly bold. Take the fight directly to the enemy's front door, on the planet Titan. Now, shifting to the cosmic mission. You know, the real tragedy of this war is that the universe's greatest defenders are entirely fractured. Out in the literal void of space, the Guardians of the Galaxy rescue a drifting Thor, who wakes up and delivers the horrifying reality of the Infinity Stones. Realizing that raw power just isn't going to cut it, Thor, Rocket, and Groot splinter off. They embark on a totally desperate mission to forge the ultimate Thanos-killing weapon, Stormbreaker. Meanwhile, let's talk about the Wakanda strategy. Protect Vision, destroy the Mind Stone. Back on Earth, Captain America's splintered faction heads to Wakanda to protect Vision. But their strategy hinges on this absolutely devastating moral dilemma. To ensure Thanos can't complete the gauntlet, they have to safely extract the Mind Stone so Scarlet Witch can destroy it. It's a brutal race against time to save the universe without sacrificing their humanity in the process. And this is crucial. The hero's fatal flaw here is their absolute refusal to trade a single life, which is a principle Thanos happily abandons to get what he wants. All right, let's look at the plan on Titan. First, ambush Thanos. Second, restrain him completely. Third, remove the Infinity Gauntlet. Against all odds, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, and the Guardians actually manage the impossible. They don't just charge in recklessly. They execute a flawless, highly coordinated ambush. They completely trap Thanos, restrain him, and are literally millimeters away from pulling that Infinity Gauntlet right off his hand. For one breathless second, you really think the universe is saved. But then, Star-Lord's grief ruins the perfect plan. The strategy isn't broken by Thanos' physical power. Actually, scratch that. It's broken by human grief. Star-Lord discovers Thanos has sacrificed Gamora. Blinded by absolute rage, he loses all composure and breaks the team's hold. It is such a haunting twist. A completely relatable, totally human emotional reaction becomes the very thing that dooms half of all life. Thanos breaks free, and he just defeats them all. Talk about an emotional roller coaster. Let's compare Thor's arrival in Wakanda, which brings a massive surge of hope, versus Thanos' arrival, which brings absolute despair. In Wakanda, the defenses are totally crumbling under the weight of Thanos' monstrous army. Then boom, a massive surge of hope as Thor arrives with Stormbreaker, just obliterating the enemy lines and totally turning the tide. But that euphoric high shattered instantly, because moments later, Thanos steps onto the battlefield himself, bringing with him the suffocating weight of absolute despair. Which leads us to a heartbreaking sacrifice reversed. Knowing Thanos cannot be physically stopped at this point, Scarlet Witch makes the ultimate, unbearable sacrifice. She destroys the Mind Stone, literally killing the man she loves to save the universe. But Thanos already holds the Time Stone. With just a casual flick of his wrist, he reverses time, resurrects Vision, and rips the stone from his head anyway. That agonizing sacrifice was completely meaningless, really emphasizing Thanos' terrifying, godlike control over reality. In one final, desperate strike, Thor hurls Stormbreaker, burying the axe deep into the Mad Titan's chest. It looks like a definitive killing blow. But Thanos simply looks at Thor, leans in close, and delivers a chilling realization. You should have gone for the head. And then, the snap. A single, devastating snap of the fingers that successfully wipes out half of all living creatures in the universe. It's the event that literally changed cinematic history. Thanos raises his hand and simply snaps. There's no massive explosion. There's no fiery climax. Just a quiet, instantaneous wipeout. Absolute, terrifying silence. The consequences are visceral and they are immediate. Heroes turn to dust. Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, and countless more. All across the universe, people just start turning to ash. Completely invincible heroes fading away. The survivors are just frozen in pure shock, helplessly watching their friends disintegrate right in front of their eyes into thin air. And this massive cosmic event suddenly becomes agonizingly personal back on Titan. Spider-Man, who is just a terrified kid in this moment, clings to his mentor, Tony Stark. His final, tragic plea, "Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good," is the ultimate emotional gut punch of the entire story, right before he too fades into absolutely nothingness. The story ends with a deeply unsettling image. Thanos watched the sunrise. Having achieved his terrifying lifelong mission, he sits down to watch a grateful universe with a genuine smile on his face. He won. But considering the massive universal resource crisis he was genuinely trying to solve, we have to ask, was his horrific methodology purely evil, or was it twistedly pragmatic? Was he right, or was he wrong? Something to really think about. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep analyzing the universe around you.